All right, and we're back.
And we're back.
I love this podcast so much because we get to meet the most incredible women that are in all different industries, doing all different kinds of things, and really chasing their next big move. So, today we are just so delighted to introduce you to our new friend, Cindy Ambuehl. She is a powerhouse, in the real estate world and has an incredible background. Cindy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, are you kidding? Thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
As we kick it off in the podcast, we're going to talk about all of the tips and tricks of what you're doing now and where you're going. But of course, that wouldn't even have been possible without the beginning of your story of how it kind of all began, what you really thought your first big move was going to be, what it ended up being, and where you got started. We'd love if you could take us back to the beginning of your journey and kind of walk us through it a little bit.
So I was an actress for 22 years. I was a comedic actress. So I used to say I was very funny before I started real estate. I had a really good sense of humor. But I was acting and I would take my studio bonuses and I would invest in property. So I would invest in a little condo or a little sweet little craftsman down in Old Orange near Chapman College. And then I would take another studio bonus and I would invest in another piece of real estate. So I really had a knack for it and I had a love for it. And where a lot of my co-stars were buying flashy cars and jet skis and boats, I was investing in real estate. So it was a really great transition for me when I decided to leave. I was shooting a series Jag. It was a top 10 show for 11 years. And everyone thought I was out of my mind to be leaving. But I want to leave on my terms. Whenever I'm going to switch from one industry to another or decide to make a move and a transition, it's going to be on my terms. And I definitely want to do it when I'm on top. And I think power in that. You own it, right? So I left when it was a top 10 show and stayed home and had my twins, and then decided to, when they went to preschool, roll it into real estate.
Wow, I love that. And I love that you were able to kind of take that power, like you said, and really be able to set your own trajectory, your own journey through that. I'm curious, as you made that transition from acting into real estate full time, what were some of those kind of common threads that really helped you or maybe helped set you apart as you kind of made that transition?
Oh, I think it was crucial to have had that experience because in acting, you're only as good as your next job. You're not on salary. You only get paid if you book a job. So with real estate, you're only as good as your next listing, your next closing. You have to be able to ride the highs with the lows and vice versa. And so I think a lot of people who have steady 9 to 5 jobs and they have a salary and bonuses and they have their insurance covered, it's all secure for them. They're maybe not made out for the acting world or the real estate world where you have to hustle. You got to go out there. You've got to meet people. You're going to close a deal. You're only as good as your next deal. You close that deal. You only get paid if you close the next one. And you have to have pretty thick skin for that. And you have to be used to this type of career, right? It's not just going to be this. And you've got to fight for every single one. And when it gets slow, you just got to know it's coming back and you fight for it to come back. I had heard an expression years ago that we are built like airplanes and we're meant to withstand the turbulence. And I think I learned that in both industries. I'm truly made for it.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I'm curious, whenever you were acting, what was your vision of your career back then? It seems like you maybe had this inkling that you wanted to be in real estate, or did you, because you were investing in these properties and things like that? Or did you see that you wanted to have the duality, for the rest of your life? What was your vision back then to have that hindsight of starting to invest in these properties and knowing to do that even?
Um, I had such a passion for real estate. I had just this understanding of it and this excitement from it. And I just had a true passion for it. But what I knew was, and how I was making my living was acting. And I would have, at one time, I had 3 sitcoms at one time for years. And so didn't I didn't want to leave that. I loved what I was doing, but it became more of a hobby to do real estate back then. And so that's how I looked at it, as a really smart investment for myself, a smart investment for my future, making my money work for me, taking advantage of the fact I had a really, knock on wood, great 22-year career. I never went without working in my whole 22 years. And I was very, very proud of that. I told everyone had told me, oh, you know how hard it is to make it. You'll never make it. You know how hard. And the more people told me that, the more it fueled me. And I was like, okay, watch, just sit back and watch. And so I had it more. So I did it and I loved it. I loved the comedy. I loved the fun. I loved being on set. I loved being in front of a live audience. And I think that also has helped me in my career as a realtor, because I'm not at all intimidated going into a listing presentation or meeting with attorneys and business managers. So I think when I was acting, that was my bread and butter and that was my career. But I was having such fun feeling like I was doing something really smart for myself by investing in real estate. And I got it. I just understood it. So that's really what I was thinking all those years. And it wasn't until I had my twins and I didn't want to miss it. You know, Luca was only 2, I was having twins, and I just didn't want to miss it. So I made a really big decision that women have to make. You know, unfortunately, sometimes you have to make those decisions, and as a woman, and I actually found power and satisfaction in making that decision because it was mine. And I, you know, thought long and hard about it and prayed about it, and it was the right thing for me. So I stayed, like I said, I stayed down for 3 years and I went full force again.
I love that. Yeah. And it's like you said, it's being able to take your own power of your choice and being able to go through that transition of having, going full force from being on all these shows, being acting full time to then full time motherhood to then going full time into real estate. What was that transition like of going from full time to kind of full time off to then back in full force, but a totally different industry? What was kind of that like transition like?
Well, I'm actually skipping something. When I was taking time off, because I don't really know how to take time off. I'm a holic. But when I had left JAG, I was called by QVC and HSN, and they said, "We love your style. Do you want to do a clothing line, a celebrity clothing line?" So while I was home with the babies, I was designing a clothing line. And then I went to HSN first, and I did my clothing line there at HSN. And we were selling out 10,000 units a minute. And
Wow.
and my mom would
Oh
come
yeah, that's
to me.
just a casual thing to just,
Yeah, I kind of forgot that.
Forget
to
about.
brush over.
I kind of forgot that. So I did that, and it was great because my mom came with me with the twins, and so they would come with, and they'd be on set with me sometimes. It was just really fun, but it wasn't something I was going to do long term. You know, it just I enjoyed it. It was fun, but it wasn't where my passion was. And I really am a big believer. If you want to have success in whatever you do, be passionate about it. Look forward to it every day.
Yeah, and it seems like you probably still had these properties that you had been invested in. So that was kind of still going on in the background. Uh Whenever I think of, going full force into something and not looking back at typically the most successful people in whatever industry it is, that is a trait that they carry uh through and through. I would say that's one of the most common ones. I mean, looking at your stats here as a real estate agent today of over $2 billion in sales, being one of the nation's top producing female agents. But what were some of the first steps that you took in order to truly like go all in? Like if somebody was just getting started today and like seeing your stats, they're like, oh my, how do I even close that gap? Where do I start?
One foot in front of the other. Take a deep breath, believe in yourself, and absolutely stay true to your brand. And when I was acting, I was portraying other characters. They were the brand, right? They were the show. So when I became a realtor, I was the brand. Cindy Ambuehl. It wasn't Cindy Ambuehl playing Sophie on Seinfeld or whatever else my character was. Those shows were the brand. I became the brand. So who am I? And I can't stress it enough as young women or women who are going to get started it later like I did, because I wasn't young when I started it by any means, by any means. But I really had to stop and think about who I am, what my brand is going to be, how do I perceive myself, and how do I want to get that messaging across to the people who are going to entrust me with what's most likely their largest asset. And I'm going to affect their lifestyle, where they're going to wake up every morning, where they're going to go to bed, where their kids are going to go to school, what church or temple are they going to go to, what community are they going to be a part of. That's all a part of what they trust me to help them find. So I better be confident and sure about who I am and my ability to do that, or they're going to see right through me and go to the next guy who stands tall. So I can't stress it enough. And it would be the same as an actress. I had Andie MacDowell. Do you remember Andie MacDowell, the beautiful actress Andie MacDowell?
Yes.
She once gave me the best advice going in for auditions. And I tell young agents this when I speak. I tell them all the time, do this before you go into a listing appointment. Do this when you're entering a room. When we're an actress and you go into a room to screen test for a show or a film, you walk into a conference room, you've got studio heads on one side, network heads on the other, casting, showrunners, cameras everywhere. And you have to walk in there as confident as you can to play your scenes, right? You've got someone there reading your scenes. That's how it is. It's intense, very intense. And she told me the best advice, and I tell this to people in real estate to enter rooms. Don't go in there going, oh my God, I hope they like what I do. I hope they like what I'm saying. What if I'm not doing it right? No, kiss of death, don't do it. She told me, go into that room and think to yourself before you go in, God, I cannot wait to show them how this is supposed to be done. The power of that. I can't wait to show them the right way of doing this and how this should be done. It just gives you this sense of, again, power. You own it. And I feel that way, and I've brought that with me in real estate, that if I was to go into a room where I know they're meeting with a lot of different agents for a big listing, and I was going in ahead of time thinking, God, I hope they like me. I hope my numbers are okay for them. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to get the job. I'm not going to get the listing. But if I go in, I cannot wait to show them what I can do for them. I can't wait to show them my listing presentation. I can't wait to talk about how much I want to work with them, the things I notice about their house. I want to be able to show them my marketing packet. I want to show them. I can't wait to show them what I can do for them. It's a completely different mindset, and it's of strength.
Yeah.
Strength.
Absolutely. And it's such an energy exchange that we have with people. And I think that energy is so contagious, and somebody can feel it the second you walk into a room, like you said. And I think being able to harness that power, like you said, of being able to, right, the power of perspective, of how you look at a situation, I think can really build your confidence, like you're saying, really make you feel empowered going in, make you feel strong,
Yeah.
versus the like feeling cowering or worrying or stressing about it, which will come through your energy. So I'm curious, as you've kind of gone through, going through all of these different rooms, right, of, going from acting, being in front of all of these people that are judging your acting skills, to then being in real estate and transitioning kind of through that. What are maybe some of your go-to power moves, maybe in addition to the perspective shift, that you could maybe give somebody else who's maybe just getting started, maybe a little bit more timid, that's trying to kind of build up some of those tools in their toolkit?
You mean as a power move in what way?
To be able to step into that room with power, whether it is in real estate or in acting.
Listen, it's believing in yourself. It's believing in yourself and know your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When I would go on set and the cameras would roll and they'd yell, they'd go 3, 2, and on 1 is when you start delivering. If you don't know your lines, if you're not prepared, it's a disaster. It is a disaster. It is no different than when you're getting started in this business. Know your stuff. Don't fake it. Don't tell someone something you don't know and they catch you making things up or lying because you don't know. Say, I'm not sure, but I'm going to find out and I'm going to circle back to you. I don't want to say the wrong thing. They'll find respect in that,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll trust you. Trust is key of anything. When you are starting a power move, if you believe in yourself and you know that you're coming to them from a truthful place, what do you have to lose? Like, what do you have to lose? They're going to read that from you. You're talking about energy. They're going to get that from you. So that's probably the most important power play, is to always come from a place of trust and truth, because they're leaning on you. And I've had to go in and have tough conversations with clients and said, listen, I know they're telling you that they're going to get you 20, 22 for your house. Honestly, I'm appraising it and I'm comping it. I know the homes that are coming on the market. So I'm coming from a place of being prepared. I know what other properties are coming on the market. I know what your competition is. I know other properties that are going into escrow at a reduced price. That's your competition. So if you don't price it at a 16, 17, you're going to be sitting, and now you're going to be damaged goods. So these are all things I am very, very overly prepared when I go into any listing appointment or any meeting with the client. I know the other properties that have sold. I know properties that are coming on the market that's going to be their competition. I know what's happening in interest rates. I know what's happening in LA from January until November. Where are we in sales? Where are we in volumes? What's happening in the market? What are projections? I am so loaded. I go in confident because I'm prepared. And then when they're talking to me, it's about trust. I'm just giving it to them straight and we're talking. And if there's something I'm not sure about, I'll get back to them, as opposed to just make something up because I don't want to look like I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's so true. That's how you build like those honest relationships too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
totally. So such good advice, I think, that you can take into any industry, any
Any,
industry,
and any relationship.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Whenever I think about people coming to you for to work with you, they've probably either heard of you someplace, or they've looked at you online, or they found you in some way. Whenever you were telling us things that you should look at and things that you considered whenever you were first getting started, your personal brand was one of them. As you were considering what you wanted your personal brand to be and to what it's become today, how did you look at that? And what is it, what advice would you give to others that are looking to build their personal brand too? Because like I told you, I don't throw bones whenever it comes to personal brands, and this and yours is gorgeous, and it really lays it out clearly. So I think you definitely have some insight to share there.
Consistency is key, right? When I first got started, Priscilla, I didn't know, you know, I didn't even know how to fill out a contract. And I didn't know anything. I started new like everybody else. When I bought those income properties, I had agents who handled them for me. So I was starting new. And in doing that, I knew I wanted to do luxury. I had not sold.
Zero. Yeah.
Knew I was going to do luxury. And so from day one, I was the leader in luxury real estate. And I marketed myself as such. I carried myself as such. I dressed the part. I knew luxury. I studied luxury. I studied luxury neighborhoods. I wanted luxury. So all of a sudden, I was like, who's this Cindy Ambuehl? What has she done? Like but I just blasted it out, luxury agent. And that was under my name for everything from the beginning, because I was starting from day one with 100% certainty on who I am, who I wanted the market to know I am, what I am capable of doing, what world I'm very comfortable in and can be successful in and can help my clients to be successful in. And that's luxury. So I wasn't, and I, to this day, I don't advocate for people to go, well, I'm going to start small and I'll start with condos and townhomes. And once I build rapport, then I'll shift. But now your brand is condos and townhomes. Now you're a brand. And if you're going to stick in that world, because trust me, that is a great world. And there are agents who have been in the townhome and condo world crushing it. And they're the ones who I call when I have a client and I know they know more about that world than I do. I'll call them. So there, but if you want to shift from one to another, and I was talking to you guys earlier about my boys playing sports, right? They stick with football, they know football. It's very difficult to then go, well, now I'm going to shift to baseball. Then I'm going to go to that sport and come back, or stick with something and just perfect it. And so for me, I knew it was going to be luxury. I put on the luxury hat. I wore the luxury, not today because I'm talking to you from Boise in my hotel room, but I just felt comfortable there. And I wasn't trying to be something I wasn't. And I think that is really, really important for anyone getting started in this business. And it's something I keep going back to in this conversation. Know who you are, stay true to who you are, and project that to the clients and the agent world and your agent community. Stay true to who you are. And that is something I really resonated with, listen, luxury can mean anything. It could be luxury towels, it could be luxury sheets in my hotel room here. It could be, a yacht. It could be a $20 million home. It comes in all different price points, but luxury is still luxury. And so that was just something I appreciated. I did not have a lot of it when I was growing up. I didn't. I had a very simple upbringing, beautiful upbringing, most amazing parents, but it was simple. And I knew early I was entitled to nothing, but I could work hard and I can get anything. I'm entitled to nothing, but I can get anything. And and I knew I wanted luxury. So I fought for it.
I love that. And I think like being so clear with your destination of knowing what you want, knowing where you want to end up, I think anybody can really apply that. And being able to, like you said, from the get-go, really be able to put yourself out there as such. I think that's what really starts to build that foundation. And like you said, not necessarily going down the like timid path of like, oh, I'm going to work my way up to where I want to be. In a sense, you have to, but being able to put yourself out there, especially as you establish your brand, I think is essential.
But no,
So I'm
but
sorry, go ahead.
you're saying establish your brand. Like, yes, and know your
Mhm.
brand. If
Yeah.
you know who you are and you're confident with who you are and how you separate yourself apart from the others, build on that because
Yeah.
that's beautifully unique. It's
Yeah, so true. And like the niche, like you were saying, of like really leaning in and doubling down on like what you're an expert at. So people can come to you for your expertise. I think
right.
that's so, so important for anybody. So I'm curious, as you've kind of gone through this transition, um, what has it been like for you building a team around you and a support system? Do you have a team that you work with? Do you do most of it solo? Do you outsource? What is kind of your method to being able to build to the level you've gotten to?
The numbers I have done have been mine. So those are mine. A lot of people have a big team, and that's how you get to those numbers, is because everyone's doing hundreds of millions of dollars, and that hasn't been how I built my career, or have done the 2 billion on the West Side. For me, though, now what I have a growing team, and thank God I do, because we have 500 million listings right now. I can't do all that. I'm one person. I'll work 17-hour days, 7 days a week, but I can't maintain all of that. So I have a beautiful team. I have a director of operations, Lauren. She's my right hand. I speak to her more than I speak to my my husband during the day. Like, we're on constantly. She runs my life, my calendar, and I have such trust in her. And she has my back, and she looks out after me. And I think for anyone starting, that is key. You need to have an assistant, who knows you, who knows how you operate, who respects how you want the business run, because everyone's different. Everyone runs their office differently. In our office, if you went door to door, everyone runs it differently. So find what works best for you. And for me, it's having the strongest wingman. And so I have Lauren, who is, as I said, director of operations. I have Kayla who does all my marketing. She helps with my social. She is just, again, she knows my brand. I won't stray off of it. I do get asked to do shows. I get asked to do things, not my brand. So there are things I won't do, and she's clear on who I am. And so she worked. Then I have a sales team. My beautiful son Luca, he was at Duke. He graduated in May and joined my team, and he's killing it. He's killing it. He goes and he door knocks. He's got 3 listings now from door knocking and creating relationships. And then I have Bridget Campbell, who's been with me for several years, and she was doing marketing, and now she said, "Do you think I can do sales?" And I said, "I believe in you. You can do it." So now she's sinking her teeth into sales. So we're growing. We're looking for more people. I need more really great. Um, and I have Stephanie now. Who just joined us, by the way. She literally just joined us, rock star. So I just have people in our office who I trust, who trust me. I root for them so much. They root for me. We are kind to each other. There's never hostility in my environment. I won't have it. There's no drama. I won't have it. That's why God gave me all boys, because I don't like drama. But they're amazing, and they're all growing, and they're doing their thing a little differently. Luke door knocking. Bridget's amazing with knowing inventory and cold calling. So they have their own rhythm. I want them to find their brand. I want them to find their style and lean into that. And that's what each one of them is doing differently than the other.
What do you think that has helped you stand apart from all the other agents that maybe have a similar drive? They have a similar drive. They, have a beautiful brand, but for some reason, you have stood out from the rest.
Thank you. Thank you. I I am what I am. I don't I'm never, hey, show, but I'm never that, not an ounce of that. I over communicate with my clients. I'm an over communicator. Then there's never a misunderstanding about what was said or expectations being managed. Um, I take it very personally, probably too personally. It's probably not a great thing to do, but I do. And I think my clients feel it. So they know I'm there for them. I'm in. I'm not just looking for the commission at the end of I'm in it. I'm in it through the highs and the lows with them. Um, and and they trust me. And I'm telling you, I go back to that again. My clients trust me. They refer me over and over. Right before this call, I was on with somebody relocating to LA that another client referred me to. So I have a big referral business from past clients. And I think it is because I handhold. Maybe that's the mom in me. Maybe it's being, a little maternal, but I handhold my clients and I over communicate, and they trust me, and we talk about things. And I have a lot of celebrity clients. I've never once gone to the paper and leaked a story so I get press. Stories have gotten out because it's our day and age, but my clients know it's never been for me. I'm extremely protective. And I think there's a way of communicating with clients that I hope the younger agents coming in take time to learn. And I say that with hope in my heart, because there is a younger generation coming in, and they're hungry, and I get it. And I'm so proud of them because they're out there just hustling, but they also have to learn the communication with the client that embodies trust. And it's not just, let's just get this done. Let's just have a paycheck. It's not that. And some are learning the hard way about that.
Yeah, I think that's so true in a lot of industries, right? And I think, like you said, it goes back to the energy, like we were talking about, and the relationship building, to really get people to trust you. You've given us so many great, amazing knowledge nuggets and advice, and tips along the way. But I'm curious, what maybe has stand or stood out for you, that really rings true in your head, that maybe you use as like a mantra or a go-to piece of advice, that you could give us all?
Oh God, a mantra, like something that I stick with every day.
Yeah, something that inspires you, that you use a lot. It doesn't have to be every day.
Um, I don't have just one. God, I don't have just one. I always, I always joke and I made fun of for it, but I used to have a thing in my bathroom. It said, wake up, kick ass, repeat. Wake up, kick ass, repeat.
I love that.
On repeat. I love it.
I know that's probably not the most spiritual thing to tell you, but it just is like, I got this. I got this. And be kind.
Yeah.
Rough out there, man.
Yeah.
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 But
It's
it's
so simple but so true. And it's such
it
a ripple effect. Like kindness can go so far.
can go so far. And also, I think it's again, when I do my wake up, kick ass, repeat, it's also and be who I am.
Mhm.
And it's good enough. And I'm capable and I'm smart. And I, as a woman, have a lot of power in this. And I feed into that every day. I tap into that every single day. There is so much power in being a woman in a beautiful way, in business, in life, but in business, it's powerful.
Yes. I
Mm-hmm.
love it.
We hold so much power.
Yeah.
Cindy, as you think of all of the beautiful things that you've accomplished so far, many that we've already talked through, um, surely this isn't the end. Surely there's a next big move. Can you share what your next big move is?
Um, I'm here. I love Christie's. That's not moving. And real estate, I'm here 100% until I'm not. And that will be my choice. And there's still, like, I'm a top agent, as you said, and I appreciate you saying that. There's more to go. There's more to go. And when I'm where I want to be is when I will say, it's time to try something else. I'll bet on myself every time. So when I left the top 10 series, I took time off. I didn't fear, oh my God, what's next? I'll bet on myself every time. And then I threw myself into real estate. When that's over, I have ideas. And it's definitely revolving around females and women in business. It's definitely all on that vein for sure. I'm actually excited about it.
We love that.
And I will bet on myself through that journey and that transition. So I think every change is good. I'm not afraid of it at all.
I love
I
it.
love
It's
that.
so good. It's such good, like, just, I think, words of wisdom for us all to live by,
Mhm.
of really being able to bet on yourself and really believe in yourself.
Myself every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so
Yeah.
good.
So good. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much,
much.
I'm so
Cindy.
Jinx.
the time. Thank you. It's great.
This was so much fun. We're rooting on you forevermore. We're so excited to have you in our circle and just cheer you on and anything that we can do for you. Everybody will put all of Cindy's info down in the notes below so you can check her out. And if you're in the market, hey, now you know your girl. Awesome. Thanks so much, Cindy.
I'm huge fans and I'm so proud of your success. Keep it up.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you. And likewise. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.